Hello everyone, welcome to Enviro Pioneers. In this video, we will understand the difference between sound and noise and will also learn different sources of the noise pollution. Till now, we have covered the basic concept of the sound, and we know that the sound is a vibration which is generated in a particular medium, and this carries the energy from one place to another. And the vibration which is audible to us, that is referred as the sound. But in our surrounding or in environment, we have different sources from which this sound is generated, and these sound may vary in terms of frequency or in terms of intensity. As we discussed in one of our video, that threshold of hearing is 0 decibel. It means any vibration which is having the sound pressure either equal to or more than 20 micropascal, or the sound intensity of 10 to power minus 12 watt per meter square or more than that, that can only be heard by humans. But there is also a range in terms of frequency that is defined as the hearing range. So this hearing range, it describes the frequency range that can be heard by humans or other animals. For us, the hearing range is 20 to 20,000 hertz, means any sound which is having the frequency from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, that will be audible to us. And within this particular range, our ears are most sensitive to the sound which is having the frequency range of 2000 hertz to 5000 hertz. And this range, it corresponds to the typical frequency of human speech. Thus, humans have evolved with the maximum sensitivity in this particular range. And within this particular band, sounds of even low intensity can easily be detected. But for the high frequency or for the low frequency, it requires louder sounds to be heard. As we grow old, the upper limit of hearing range, that is 20,000 hertz, that starts to decrease, and this phenomena is known as presbycusis. Presbycusis, which is also known as age-related hearing loss, it is a progressive, irreversible, and usually bilateral hearing loss that occurs as a result of aging. Bilateral hearing loss means it occurs in both the ears. So we have to keep this thing in mind that human hearing range is 20 to 20,000 hertz, and on this particular range we have the definition of infrasonic and ultrasonic sound. So infrasonic sound are the sound waves which are having the frequency below 20 hertz, and the wave which is generated during earthquake, volcanic eruption and the tsunamis, they come under the infrasonic sound. And there are several animals that communicate among them using the infrasonic sounds. So we have example here: elephants, whales, giraffe, alligators, rhinoceros and hippos. Ultrasonic sound are the sound waves which are having the frequency above 20,000 hertz. And in medical imaging, that is ultrasound scans, ultrasonic waves are used to create the images of the inside of the body. And in also industrial cleaning, these ultrasonic waves are used to clean the delicate objects. There are several animals that can use the ultrasonic sounds either for echolocation, communication or for hunting purpose. For example, we can see here bats, they use the ultrasonic sounds for echolocation to hunt the insect and to navigate in the dark. Likewise, dolphins also use the ultrasonic sound for echolocation to find the prey and navigate. Dogs can hear up to 45,000 or 65,000 hertz, which is much higher than humans. So this particular range is used in the dog whistle. So this is not audible to us, but it can be heard by the dogs. And cats, they can hear up to around 60,000 hertz, but they use the ultrasonic sound to hunt the rodents. And mice and rats, they communicate using the ultrasonic chirps that are inaudible to humans. Similar to dolphin, porpoise also use very high frequency clicks for the echolocation. Shrews can emit and hear the ultrasonic sound for communication and navigation. Frogs can produce and hear ultrasonic calls to communicate over noisy streams. So infrasonic and ultrasonic terms are with respect to the human hearing range, that is 20 to 20,000 hertz. So any sound which is having the frequency less than 20 hertz, that is referred as the infrasonic sound, and the sound waves which are having the frequency above 20,000 hertz, that are referred as the ultrasonic sound. There is also another term, that is supersonic. It is very different from infrasonic and ultrasonic term. It has nothing to do with the frequency of the sound waves, but it is related to the speed of the object. Supersonic terms, it refers to any object that moves faster than the speed of the sound in a given medium, usually air. For example, in air at a standard temperature and pressure, that is around 20 degrees Celsius at sea level, the speed of the sound is about 343 meter per second. So, if any object or aircraft, if it is traveling faster than 343 meter per second, it is called supersonic. Here we have two examples for the supersonic objects: fighter jets like the F-22 Raptor or Concorde, that is a supersonic passenger airplane. They travel at the supersonic speeds. Bullets which are fired from many guns, they also travel supersonic. So this supersonic, it is defined in terms of Mach number, that is a dimensionless ratio which compares the speed of an object to the speed of the sound in the surrounding medium. So here we have the formula: Mach number, that is m, is equal to speed of the object divided by the speed of the sound. So based on the Mach number, the objects can be classified into subsonic, sonic, supersonic and hypersonic. So if Mach number is 1, it means the object is moving at exactly the speed of the sound. So it is also referred as the transonic. If Mach is less than 1, it means जो object है that is traveling is slower than the sound, and it is referred as the subsonic. If Mach number is more than 1 but less than 5, the object is referred as the supersonic. It means the object is traveling faster than the sound. If Mach number is 2, it means the object is traveling twice the speed of the sound. If Mach number is 5 or above, the object is hypersonic. It means it is traveling at extremely high speed. Related to supersonic objects, there is a term sonic boom. So sonic boom is a loud thunder-like noise heard by a person on the ground when an aircraft flies overhead at supersonic speed. When any object or aircraft, it travels through the air at the supersonic speed, the air molecules are pushed aside with the greater force, and this force, it forms a shock wave, that is a cone of pressurized air. After the buildup of shock wave in the atmosphere, when there is a sharp release of pressure, it is heard on the ground by a person as a loud thunder-like sound. So this is referred as the sonic boom. When we pop a pin in a balloon, so there is a sharp release of pressure and it makes a loud noise. Similarly, this pressure buildup, when it is released, the sharp release of pressure, it creates the sonic boom. Now coming to noise pollution, so there is difference between sound and noise. Sound is what we hear and noise is unwanted sound. And this term, it is derived from the Latin word nausea, which means unwanted sound or the sound that is loud, unpleasant or unexpected. So the difference between sound and noise, it depends upon the listener and the circumstances. It depends upon the person perception, whether the sound is pleasant to him or whether the sound is irritating to him. For example, loud music, it can be a pleasurable sound to one person and it can be an annoying sound to another. If we consider an individual here, और अगर हम खुद को यहाँ पे as an example रखें, तो अगर हम बहुत अच्छे मूड में होते हैं तो कोई भी म्यूजिक हम जो सुन रहे हैं वो हमको अच्छी लगती है, बट अगर हमारा मूड खराब है तो जो सॉन्ग हमको बहुत पसंद है वो भी हमको इरिटेटिंग लगता है. So any sound, it can be noise if it is causing irritation or annoyance in us. So this is the general definition. But the proper scientific definition in terms of the health effect, the noise pollution, which is also defined as the environmental noise or the sound pollution, it refers to the presence of excessive or harmful level of the noise in the environment that disrupts the normal acoustic balance and adversely affect the human health and well-being. And according to World Health Organization, the noise pollution is defined as unwanted or harmful sound emitted by various sources which can interfere with the normal activities such as sleeping, conversation, and working, and can contribute to adverse health effects. In this image, we can see different sources which produces the sound of different intensities. For example, here 0 decibel, that is the smallest audible sound, and it is near to the silence. Our normal breathing, it is about 10 decibel. Rustling of the leaves, it is having 20 decibel. Normal whisper, it is 30 decibel. Then we can have here the hair dryer, that is 90 decibel. Then we have the police siren that comes in 120 decibel. Here we have the firework, that is 140 decibel. So up to 80 decibel, here we are having the loud sound. Then 90 to 110 decibel, this is very loud sound. And then after 120 decibel, pain begins in our ear. And if we are exposed to 140 decibel, even very short exposure can cause the long-term damage. So any object which creates sound, it can be the source of the noise pollution, and these sources are classified into different categories. So we have the transportation noise, industrial and the construction noise, commercial and domestic activities, defense and military activities, and the agricultural activities. So we will see these one by one in detail. So the transportation noise, it is the largest contributor to the noise pollution globally. Within this, we include the noise which is generated because of the transportation activity. So within the transportation noise, it can be generated because of the road traffic. So this is the significant source of environmental noise pollution in urban and the suburban areas. A number of cars, motorcycles, buses, trucks are there on the road, and the frequent honking, engine sound, tire friction, braking, it creates the noise. And the poorly maintained vehicles, it causes the extra noise. And the impact of the road traffic, it depends on the road location and the design, land use planning measures, building design, vehicle standards, and the driver behavior. Then we have the railway noise, which is generated by the train and the associated infrastructure, and it is a significant contributor in the areas near the railways. This noise is generated from locomotive engines, horn and the whistles, and switching and shunting operation in the rail yard. Then we have the aviation noise, which is the major source of the noise in the areas which are near the airports. So during the takeoff, landing, and the overflight, these aircraft, it generate the sound of very high intensity. Then also the airport operation like the ground vehicles and the announcement, it can cause the aviation noise. And also the supersonic jets and low flying helicopter, they create the intense noise. Then we have the water transport. So the sound generated by these ships and the boats, it can be the source of noise, especially in the ports. And the subsonic vibrations which are generated underwater, it has major impact on the marine life. Next category is industrial and the construction noise, which include the noise generated from the factories and the workshops, construction activities, and the mining operations. So in the factories and the workshop, machineries like the compressor, generators, engine cutting, and the drilling tools, and also the operations like the welding, forging, and the metal cutting, they can be the sources of the noise pollution. And also there is lot amount of noise is generated in the power plants and the refineries. Then in construction activities, noise can be generated because of the concrete mixtures, jackhammers, and the bulldozers which are used during the building construction, drilling and the pavement cutting during the roadworks or during the demolition activities. And in mining operation, in both the surface and the underground mining, the substantial noise is generated due to the drilling, blasting, and the machinery which are used. Next category is the commercial and the domestic activities, which include the marketplaces and the commercial centers, entertainment and the public events, and household sources. So the loudspeakers, vendor shouting, or the crowd noise, or the public announcement or the promotional activities, it comes under the marketplaces and the commercial centers. In the entertainment and public events, the sound or the noise generated during the music concerts, festivals, or the wedding processions, or during the political rallies and the sports events, they can be the major source of the noise pollution. And in the household, music system, television, kitchen appliances like the mixtures. Pets can also be the source of noise pollution if they are continuously barking or continuously howling. And the parties and the gatherings in the house, it can also create the noise. Next category is the defense and the military activities. So here we have the weapons testing like the explosion or the gunfire during the training exercises, military aircraft and the vehicles. So fighter jets, it creates the sonic booms, and testing ground and the military drills, it create high level noise zone. So any source which create the sound, it can be the source of noise pollution, but these were the major classification. Based on the temporal behavior of the noise, this noise can be classified into four categories: continuous noise, variable noise, intermittent noise, and impulsive noise. So this classification is very important because different types of noise, they affect the human and the environment differently. So let us see what are these types. So first is the continuous noise. So any noise which is constant and steady over a period of time without significant change in their loudness or the tone, it is referred as the continuous noise. So the sound which is generated because of the engines, generators, water pumps or the fan, or the constant road traffic on the busy highway, it creates the continuous noise and it creates the long-term fatigue or the hearing loss in humans. Next is variable noise or the fluctuating noise. If there is continuous noise but the loudness it varies with the time, it comes under the variable or the fluctuating noise. Within this, we have the example traffic noise, ocean waves, conversation sounds in the cafeteria, and this variable and the fluctuating noise, it causes the distraction and it reduces the attention or focus. Next is intermittent noise, which stops and starts at irregular or regular interval. So here the period of noise are separated by the period of relative quietness. So the noise generated by the passing trains or the barking dogs or the aircraft flying overhead at intervals, it comes under the intermittent noise and it disrupts the attention and the cognitive task in humans and also affect the wildlife behavior. And last is impulsive noise, which is also referred as the impact noise. So the noise which is sudden, short-lived and high in intensity, that is referred as the impulsive noise. So these are usually in the form of the sharp burst or the bangs which last for less than 1 second. So within this we have the example of the noise generated due to the gunshots, explosions, hammering or slamming of the door. And this impulsive noise, it causes the panic and acute stress in humans, and there is also very high risk of instant hearing damage. It also have the strong psychological effect in the person which are highly sensitive. These are the references from where the content of this video has been taken. We will meet soon in the next video on effects of the noise pollution. Best wishes and thank you.